Srebrenica, Bosnia Reuters Almir Salihovic sits in his office in Srebrenica, waiting for a UN tribunal to give its judgment on the man accused of massacring his cousins and uncles there in 1995. He is hoping for a measure of justice, but little else. PHOTO Bosnian Serb wartime general Ratko Mladic appears in court at the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia ICTY in The Hague, Netherlands, June 3, 2011. REUTERSMartin MeissnerPoolFile PhotoThe businessman was 10 when he fled through the woods with his father and brother as Bosnian Serb soldiers opened fire behind them. The troops killed more than 8,000 Muslim men and boys in the days that followed. Next week, the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia will give its verdict on Ratko Mladic, the former Bosnian Serb general accused of overseeing the murders and other war crimes, including the siege of Sarajevo. A guilty verdict on November 22 would give some personal satisfaction to victims, Salihovic told Reuters at his transportation company in the eastern town, where his family returned in 2004. But it would do little else, certainly nothing to heal the deeper traumas and still gaping divides. For most Serbs he will remain a hero, for others he will be the butcher and criminal, and we will continue to live in our folds, side by side, not together, he said. We carry the burden of a terrible crime that puts interethnic relations under pressure. Both communities are victims. The legacy of a commander who led the Bosnian Serb army in its swift takeover of 2/3 of the country during the 199,295 war still divides Muslim Bosniaks and Serbs in Bosnia. For Srebrenica Muslims, Mladic is a symbol of the chaos and killings that broke out when his forces took over the UN-protected eastern enclave where about 40,000 Muslims from eastern Bosnia had sought refuge. For Serbs, the 74-year-old is a proud general who won the territory with very few of his own casualties. Srebrenica's own Serb mayor Mladen Grujičić says the killings did not amount to genocide and the two international courts who ruled that they did were biased against his fellow Serbs. City Central Mosque is seen through during the war-destroyed house in Srebrenica, November 14, 2017. Reuters. It will take many more years to reveal the complete truth, which is not favoring any side, Grujičić told Reuters. We in both communities are victims while higher agendas are at stake, he added, without elaborating. A life of punishment. Srebrenica is now a shrinking town where about 7,000 Muslim Bosniaks and Serbs still live side by side, suspicious of each other and divided by the past. One thing they do share is their poverty. The town is dotted with empty houses, left behind by people seeking a better life. This year the only bakery and butcher's shop had to close down. Srebrenica was once known for its metal plant and nearby lead, zinc and gold mines. These days, the main landmark is the cemetery on its outskirts and the 6,575 white tombstones marking the remains of the victims that authorities have managed to find. In 2010, I buried my children and husband. Nobody should go through it ever again. Now I live alone, and I should not have had to live alone if it was not for some hotheads, said Hadidza Mehmetovic. The 66-year-old comes every day to tend the graves of her husband and two sons killed in what is widely seen as Europe's worst atrocity since the World War II. This is not life, this is hell, this is a life of punishment, Mehmetovic told Reuters. Further southwest, in Mladic's home village of Bosanovići, his cousins are also waiting for the tribunal's verdict. They fear he will be jailed for crimes they say he did not commit. I would be happiest if he died before the judgment, his uncle Mladic told Reuters. We would then raise a large monument for him in the village and write the truth. All this that is happening is not the truth. It is a lie. The general is not guilty. Additional reporting by Ivana Sekularac in Belgrade and Dado Ruvic in Bosanovići, writing by Daria Saitosuchik, editing by Ivana Sekularac and Andrew Heavens. Or Standards. The Thomson Reuters Trust Principles.